Hi there. Hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson, I will go through 2023 HSC paper with you. Of course, there is a PDF file versions on the description below for you to download so you can work with me. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. First one, part A. So to evaluate this by using substitutions, so u is equal to x minus 3. So if x is equal to 3, that means u is equal to 3 minus 3. That will give me 0. So if x is 3, so that is equal to integrate from 0. So when x is equal to 4, so this means that u is equal to 4 minus 3. That give me 1. So now we know that u is equal to x minus 3. So let me write this down first. U is x minus 3. So we differentiate that. Du is dx. And also, if we move this on that side, so that means x is u plus 3. And we want to make it into x plus 2. So if I plus 2, x plus 2, so this means that I add 2 on both sides. So 3 plus 2 will give me 5. So that is u plus 5. So this is become u plus 5. And square root of x minus 3, that means square root of u, because u is x minus 3. So square root of u. And I can write square root of u, it becomes u power of a half. U power half. And dx is equal to du. So du. So there you go. So now what I do, I just remove the bracket first. So that will give me integrate from 0 to 1. And u times u power half. So that means 1 plus a half is 3 over 2. So u power 3 over 2. And plus 5 u power of a half du. So now I just integrate this. So I just go 1 plus 3 over 2. It's just like 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 over 2. So that will give me equal to u power of 5 over 2. And we divide by 5 over 2. We flip it, become times. So times 2 over 5. So that means 2 over 5. And then we add. So 5 integrate u power of half. So a half plus 1. That means 1 plus 2 is 3. So 3 over 2. And we divide by 3 over 2. So we flip that, become times 2 over 3. So times 2 over 3. So it's from 0 to 1. So now let me just simplify this first. So that will give me equal 2/5 u power of 5 over 2. We add 5 times 2 is 10. So 10 over 3, u power of 3 over 2. And this is from 0 to 1. So now I just substitute the value in. Substitute with 1 first. 1 power of any numbers will give me 1 anyway. So that is 2/5 times 1. So give me 2/5. And we add, substitute 1 in. 1 power of 3 over 2 is 1. So that is 10 over 3 times 1 is 10 over 3. And we minus. So now we replace u with 0. So the whole thing becomes 0 anyway. So we just minus 0. So that will give me, so just go 2/5. And then we plus 10 over 3. So there you go. 56 over 15. And we write mixed numeral. Shift SD. 3 and 11 over 15. 3, 11 over 15. So there you go. Part B. So to prove this statement is true, so first of all, we need to prove n equal 1 first. Okay. So proof for n is 1. So this means when n equal 1, so that means 1 times 2 is 2 plus n is 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. We times 2 power 1. So that means 2 is equal to 2. So therefore, the statement is true for n equal 1. So therefore, so now we assume that n is true for k. So let me just write this down. So this means that we replace n with k, okay? So let me just write this down. So that is 1 times 2 . So there you go. So now we need to prove for n equal k plus 1. So first of all, we need to write all the terms on the left, and then we add one more term. That is n is k plus 1. Okay, one term extra. So when n equal k plus 1, so that means k plus 1 minus 1. So that would give me k. And k plus 1 is plus 2. So there you go. So now what we do, we just need to work on the left hand side, so that is equal to the right hand side. And we know that this series here is equal to 2 plus k minus 1 times 2 power of k plus 1. So let me just write this down. So that is 2. And we need to write the last term down. That is k plus 1 and times by 2 k plus 1 is equal to the right hand side. We just write this down. So that is k times 2 k plus 2. So now what we do is I can just take our common factor. So that is for this one here. Let me just write this 2 down. And the common factor for this is k plus 1. Okay, 2 to the power of k plus 1. Add 2k plus 1. So we left with k minus 1. We add k plus 1 in there. And the left hand side done. Now the right hand side. Let me just write this down. And we know that these two here cancel out. So that we leave with k plus 1 is 2k. So that is 2 plus 2k times 2k plus 1 is equal to 2. So k times 2k plus 2. And we know that 2 is 2 power 1. And we time with this, it becomes 2k plus 2. Okay, we just add the indices. So 2 power 1. So 1 plus k plus 1 is k plus 2. So let me write this down. So 2 plus k times 2k plus 2. That is equal to. So there you go. So left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So therefore, there you go. So therefore, the statement is true, proved by mathematical inductions. There you go. Part C. A gym has 9 pieces of equipment, 5 treadmills and 4 rolling machines. On an average, each treadmill is used 65% of the time, and each rowing machine is used 40% of the time. Part I. Find an expression for each of the probability that at a particular time, exactly 3 of the 5 treadmills are in use. So first of all, we know that the treadmill, we have 5, okay, and we only need 3. And the rule is this. Probability of x is equal to r. So that will become NCR. P is a probability. So that power of r, and q, and n minus r. Okay, so keep that in mind. So that means we need to find the probability that x is equal to exactly 3. So x is 3. So that will give me. So we have 5 treadmills and 5 C3 and the probability is 0.65. So 0.65, and then we power 3. And then 1 minus 0.65 will give me Q. So 1 minus 0.6 is 0.4, and minus 0.5, so 0.35. And we power off 2. So let me just clear this. So that is 2. So now that's a probability, and we just need to write an expression for this. So that is the answer. Now part 2. Find an expression for the probability that at a particular time, exactly 3 of the 5 treadmills are in use and no rolling machines are in use. So first of all, let me just find out the probability for no rowing machine are in use first. So the probability of X is equal to 0. So that is, so for rowing machine, we only have 4 of them. Okay, so that means 4C0 because we want 0 of them in use. So that means the probability is 0.4. So 0.4 power of 0 and Q is 0.6 and then power of 4. So keep that in mind. So now what I do, because 0.4 power of 0 is 1, so that means, and 4C0 will give me 1 as well. So that means the answer for this is 0.6 power of 4. Okay, so that's it. So then we need to find the probability that exactly 3 of the 5 treadmills are in use and no rolling machines are in use. So that means we time them together. So therefore, the probability P is equal to 5C3. 0.65 power of 3, 0.35 power of 2, and 0.6 power of 4. So there you go. Part D. So we know that NCR will give us N minus 1 CR minus 1 plus N minus 1 CR. Okay, we use these facts. So we need to find one possible set of values for P and Q such that this is equal to this. Okay, so keep that in mind. So we use the fact that given. So we just find an expression for this first. Okay, simplify in another word. So let me just write this down. So this means that 2022 CAT, we add 2022 CAT1. So that will give me from this rule. So you can see that here, that will give me NCR. So that is 2023 because it's 1 on top, okay, of 2022, because this is N minus 1. So this is N. So we add 1. So that means becomes 2023 C81. Okay, R. So keep that in mind. R is 81. So there you go. So now we have this. Let me just write this down. So this one here is 2023 C81. We add 2023 C1943. Okay, now we use the fact that is NCR is equal to NC N minus R. Okay, these are the facts. So therefore we have 2023 C1943. So that will give us 2023 C 2023 minus 1943. So that should give me, so I just go 2023 minus 1943. So there you go, 80. So that is equal to 2023 C80. So that means, let me write underneath here. So that is equal to 2023 C81. So we add this, it means this one here. Okay, so keep that in mind. So that is at 2023 CAT. So therefore, using the fact above here, so that will give me NCR. Okay, so N, with that mean we add 1 to 2023 because this is N minus 1. So now we find N. N is 2024. And CR, and this is R minus 1. This is R. Keep that in mind. So 81. So therefore, so P is 2024 and Q is 81. So there you go. Part E. So we need to find the volume of the shaded area. So to work out the volume, so we need to work out two volumes. So the first volume is this part here, hyperbola. So we need to find this volume here and rotate about the y-axis. Don't forget, it's like this. Something like that, okay? So just rotate. So we find this volume, and then we need to find this volume here, the cylinder, and then we add them up. Just roughly, okay? So that's a volume. So we have two volumes. So let me just find the volume of the hyperbola first. So the volume of hyperbola, so we know that V is equal pi because it rotates about y-axis, that is the y. So therefore must be x squared. And from A to B. And then we just write V1. So V1, the hyperbola is from, that is 4 and all the way to 12 here. Okay, so keep that in mind. So that is 4 to 12. And we need to work out the x squared at the moment. So let me just write on here. So y is 60 over x plus 5. So now we just solve for x first, okay? So we times x plus 5 on both sides. So that means yx plus 5y is equal to 60. And then I just move 5y on the other side. So xy is 60 minus 5y. And then we divide by y on both sides. So x is 60 minus 5y over y. And I square both sides. So if I square this and I square this, so that becomes x squared is equal to, so that is 60 minus 5y squared over y squared. So that will give me 6 squared is 36. So 3600, and 60 times 5 will give me 30. So that is 300. And we double that. So minus 600y. And then we add 5y squared. That means 25y squared over y squared. So now let me just simplify this or break it up. So that becomes like this. 3600 over y squared. Okay. And then minus 600y over y squared becomes 600 over y. We plus 25y squared over y squared will give me 25. So that is x squared. And then remember, we need to integrate this. So let me just rewrite this so that you can see that it's just exactly the same as this. Y squared minus 1 minus 600 times 1 over y. We just split this out. So that plus 25. So let me write this down. So that will give me pi integrate. So 4 to 12. So that is 3600 y minus 2 minus 600 times 1 over y, and then plus 25. So don't forget, okay? So now I just integrate this, of course. So that's the y. So now to integrate this, I just add 1 to -2. Let me write this down first. So that becomes 3600 y minus 1. Okay, because we add 1 and divide by -1. So that becomes negative in front. And then we plus. Now integrate y 1 over y. So that will give me ln of y. So that becomes minus 600 ln y. And we add 25y. So from 4 to 12. So there you go. So I need to evaluate this, of course. So that will give me, so I just go pi. So that becomes -3600 over y. Okay, keep that in mind because -1. So we bring down become +1. So 3600 over y. But y is 12. So over y, so over 12. We minus 600 ln 12. And we add 25 times 12. And then we minus, when y is equal to 4, of course, that becomes -3600 over 4. And minus 600 ln of 4. And then we add 4 times 25. So there you go. Now just simplify this, okay? So that will give me, so 36 divided by 12 is 3, so it becomes 300 minus, and that becomes, so 4 times 25 is 100, and then we times 3, so 300. So we plus 300. Let me just write minus 600 ln 12 first, add 300. And that becomes minus -36, so 900. And then we minus 600 ln 4 and plus 100. So now these two cancel out, okay? So that becomes like this. So that is equal to pi, and these together give me -800. So let me just write this down. So that becomes -600 ln 12. So let me just remove the bracket first. So this becomes plus 600 ln 4, and then -800 become plus 800. So there you go. So pi, and I can take out -600 out first, okay? So that will give me like this. -600 ln 12 minus ln 4. And we add 800. So there you go. But ln 12 minus ln 4 is same as ln 12 over 4. So that becomes ln 3. So that will give me like this. Pi -600 and then ln 3. And then we add 800. So now that becomes pi 800 minus 600 ln 3. So that is the volume of the hyperbola. Okay, so this volume here. But then we need to find the volume of x equal to 10. Rotate by y-axis. So that is the volume of a cylinder, if you like. So it's like this. So rotate. So that means the volume of cylinder, so that is 4, and the radius is 10. So we can just simply using the formula. So let me just write on here. V2, that is V1. So V2 will give me pi r square h is quicker. That's all. So that means pi times the radius is 10. 10 square is 100. and the height is 4, I think. Yes, it's 4. So we times by 4. So that will give me 400 pi. So that is, therefore, the volume will give me pi. Let me just write this volume here in an expanded form. So that is 800 pi. We expand it out. So 800 pi, we minus 600 pi ln 3. We add 400 pi. So that will give me, just collect these like terms. So that will give me 1200 pi minus 600 pi ln 3. And of course, I can take our common factor. It's look a little bit simpler. So that will give me 600 pi out. So that give me 2 minus ln 3 cubic units. So there you go. I hope you got all of them correct. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.